Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, Ypsilanti, Michigan is putting up billboards to try to find a man who keeps believing himself on local playgrounds.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Oh, please. You can see what I do in their fountains.
Nasty! That's nasty! You shouldn't even admit that. The police should come right in the door past reality right now and handcuff you and the little children beat you.
Ypsilanti, how you doing? Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. We will get to Peyton Manning visiting Knicks Saban and your boy Coach Q apologizing for grabbing his package in a moment.
Don't apologize for that.
But we begin today with the prolonged agony of Mike Woodson as he waits to see what Phil Jackson has in mind for him. The New York Post reports Steve Kerr will happily take the Knicks coaching job if offered. The New York Daily News reports Woodson sees no point in a meeting with Jackson if Jackson is going to fire him. Wilbon, is Mike Woodson being treated fairly?
Tony, fairly, I don't know what that means. Mike Woodson has done a far better job with the Knicks than I think most people at this point seem to give him credit for. It was 30 games over 500 with the Knicks, even with this disastrous season, even when you count that. Mike Woodson, to me, is not the primary problem with the Knicks. But Phil Jackson's coming as a president. You know he's going to hire his own guy. I mean, this is academic talking about whether or not Mike Woodson is going to, did he have his last game? Of course he had his last game. Phil Jackson's going to hire whoever he hires. But Mike Woodson, if I'm looking for a head coach, Mike Woodson's on my short list because he did a hell of a job with the Knicks, and the Knicks players are the issue, not the coach.
Let's go through a series of questions.
Okay.
Does everybody in the world know that Mike Woodson is going to be fired?
Well, they should know.
Okay. And does that include people who run other teams?
Yes. They all know.
And if they are interested, if they take your position on Mike Woodson, then Mike Woodson is going to get hired.
What do you think? He's going to be
fired? I think he's going to get hired. I don't think he's being treated unfairly for these reasons. First of all, he has a contract through the end of next year. He's getting paid every day.
That's right.
Getting paid every day. Second of all, I don't understand, honestly, why Phil Jackson's timetable should coincide with Mike Woodson's timetable.
Well, I think if you're Mike Woodson, you're basically saying, get me out of this nightmare. Go ahead and fire me now. And don't call me in here for some dress-up meeting with the New York media. You know what he's got a right to do, Phil Jackson? As long as he's paying this guy, he's got a right to call him in and ask him about the team. He's done it so far.
He's got a right to do that. So I don't think that Mike Woodson's being treated unfairly. I think he did a good job, real good job last year, bad job this year.
Agreed.
And I think that everybody in the world knows the end.
Yeah. The end. The end.
Okay.
30, as we used to say in the newspaper business, right? The first round of the NBA playoffs figures to be, and the Knicks will not be there, to have several entertaining series, but none perhaps as contentious as Clippers-Warriors. Woofing, as we used to call it, has already started. Much of it centered around Blake Griffin.
Your boy.
Klay Thompson Wednesday called Griffin a flopper who's too big and strong to play that way. Wow.
Look at him flop.
Griffin previously called the Warriors cowardly.
Oh, there he goes. Look at he's flopping.
Yeah, but he refused to return to the pre-series trash talk tone. So, is baiting Blake Griffin on and off the court a smart and effective strategy right now for the Warriors?
You know what? It doesn't seem to be this year. Because this year, Blake Griffin is not fighting back at all. You've seen people throw him to the ground. Of course, he flops. He does all of those things. But he doesn't engage you physically. I know early in the season this annoyed you when you thought he had to.
Because then we wouldn't have this question.
He hasn't done that. And he's not responding in print to Klay Thompson right now. So I think that Blake Griffin has become convinced of two things. Maybe by his own thoughts or maybe Doc Rivers convinced him.
Oh, now you're getting to it.
Two things. One, you got to stay on the court.
Well, 16
and two, you're a great player. You become a great player, so we can't have your head wrapped around what some other dope says.
Well, coaching has helped Blake Griffin tremendously. You look at his numbers in every category, and they have sort of settled into where superstars are, which is why he's going to finish in the top 5 of MVP votes.
Yes.
That's Doc Rivers. That's being coached up. Although 16 technical fouls is way too high, so he's still responding. But I will say this, Tony, it can't be an effective strategy for the Warriors because they don't have Andrew Bogut. Andrew Bogut, their biggest, strongest guy, is out for the postseason, certainly out for this series. And you can't play that way. The Warriors are likely to get swept in this series.
You know how depressed I am with this series.
I wouldn't make that case if Bogut was
Why am I depressed? Who did I think?
You picked the Warriors. And you know what, Tony? Bogut helped them become, along with Iguodala, who played great defense, a different team.
Instead of Bogut, they have the fossilized carcass of Jermaine O'Neal. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
So you know what?
I was rooting for.
Well, but
this series would have been a great.
You got injury.
This series
My team got
would have been
injury.
120 to
Your
115 every game.
Would have been a great series, Tony. I don't see it being that way.
No.
By the way, Bogut, who's not even playing, said it's going to be a bloodbath. Is he planning to come off the bench in his suit? What are he going to do?
Is that what he said?
It ain't going to be a bloodbath, but it could be.
You know what I mean?
I love Golden State like you do.
Wilbon, your Blackhawks were caught late last night with 1:45 to go by St. Louis and beaten in triple overtime in Game 1 of their series.
Yeah.
Chicago coach Joel Quenneville became irate over a no call in what he thought was a deliberate delay of game by St. Louis in the second overtime.
It was.
Quenneville can clearly be seen grabbing his man zone in anger. You want to see that? Today, Quenneville apologized for what he admitted was, quote, a Bush League move, unquote. Wilbon, should the NHL punish your boy for his obscene gesture?
Maybe.
Well, that's strong.
You want to see what kind of gesture I make right now? Can the camera reach what I can do? They can just focus on you. Because that call affects a game. Now, I will
tell people what happened last night with you and me in this game? We were getting out of a car. We were walking into a hotel in New York City, and you went insane because you said, they scored. They tied it. I hate this. I'm not watching it.
And I watched it. And there was a man in the box for St. Louis already, and the Blackhawks are going to have a two-man advantage in overtime of a Stanley Cup playoff game. That's game over. That's a wrap. That's 1-0 champs already stealing home ice advantage. It's a season. It's a playoff series swinging kind of situation.
So are you?
And then St. Louis.
So are you saying that Quenneville was justified in doing what he did?
Now the NHL can do whatever they want to. He was justified. If he had taken Gatorade at that point and thrown it all over the ice, he would have been justified. But let me try to be a little fair and take off my Blackhawk pom-poms for a second, and I do wave them. They let a lot of stuff go in those overtimes. They called nothing, which is sort of the way you want in an overtime. But the Blackhawks got slashed and maybe did some slashing. There were tripping calls that should have been made. So, it was awful.
So wait.
And it's just been a two-man advantage.
You don't think that on the scale of moral justice, you don't think anything should happen to this guy?
I didn't say that. I said he was justified in grabbing his package. That's what I said.
He should be. I don't think he should be suspended, not in the playoffs, but he has to be fined.
Okay,
He's admitting it's a stupid gesture.
I'm sure he'll take the fine.
He's got to be fined.
He's got to do what your boy Phil Jackson and Pat Riley used to all the time. He has to go after the officials for the next 48 hours.
A hockey coach, he stands up the whole game.
Yeah.
He can be seen on camera the whole game. He's not a baseball manager. He's not a baseball manager where you can hide in the corner of the dugout. It's not a football coach who can hide somewhere on the sidelines. He's up there and everybody sees what he does with his hands.
Good for him. Good for him.
Let him be fine.
Good. Go after the refs. It's terrible. You brought it up. A rather typical offseason meeting between a player, Peyton Manning, and a coach, Nick Saban, is leading to hurt feelings. Some fans of the University of Tennessee, where Manning went to school a million years ago, are upset that Manning and Broncos offensive coordinator Adam Gase has what Saban called a mutually beneficial meeting that included detailed talk of philosophies and strategies. So should Tennessee fans, who still see Manning as belonging to them, have an issue with Manning fraternizing with the coach of hated Alabama?
I'd like to know specifically what was exchanged. I'd like to know what Peyton Manning gave to Nick Saban. If I was a Tennessee fan and I just had this, I'd be irate.
You just had this.
I just had this that they just met. And then if I found out that Peyton Manning worked out with Alabama quarterbacks, or Peyton Manning helped install an offense for Alabama, I would go and say, are you kidding? Tennessee stinks. They're not good enough to beat Alabama. Now our best guy ever is giving aid and comfort to the enemy? Please. This is awful.
This is a nice
if I'm a college football fan, it's awful.
This is a nice acting job by you because you're not really a college football fan.
I've become one lately.
But I am.
I'm not a Blackhawks fan, but I'm
an irrational college football fan. And I understand that a rational college football fan, which is 99.9% of them,
that's what they
get upset over stupid stuff like this.
I don't think it's
but
stupid.
What they ought to know, it is stupid. Because coaches and players, particularly as they get older and go into different places in life and leagues, and they become assistants elsewhere in other schools and other pro teams, they fraternize and trade professional secrets and information all off season, which lasts longer than the season. This is what they do.
Frankie Nation, who works with us, went to Tennessee. He avoids the state of Alabama when he travels.
How rational is that?
It
we
makes
love
perfect
Frankie,
sense
but
to
how
me.
rational is it?
Nick Saban is the archangel of death to Tennessee. You can't. Are you Peyton Manning? You
Really?
cannot
Really?
go there and help him.
That's
you
insane.
cannot.
That's
you cannot.
completely and utterly insane.
Not if I'm a
and
Tennessee
not only
fan.
Can Peyton Manning
Not if I
do it?
bleed orange.
You think other fired Tennessee coaches or Tennessee coaches who've gone elsewhere and coached at other places, you think they don't talk to Saban? And you think Saban's staffers don't talk to whoever the coach of Tennessee is? Or Notre Dame or Michigan or the Packers or the Raiders?
Your school is your school. It's your school. It's not like moving from city to city where you can change allegiances to pro
They move
teams.
all the time. You're wrong on this.
Tennessee fans should be outraged.
Really, it's just shut up and get
Outraged.
a player. Go get another Peyton Manning.
Mark Emmert, your boy,
I knew
and the president of the NCAA went on ESPN radio today to state his objection to the unionization of college athletes, among other things. While answering a question about how much it costs a university to fund college athletics, Emmert said of student athletes, quote, "They are taking a seat from a paying student," unquote. Wilbon, do you agree with that, or would you like to bite Emmert's head off right now?
I don't ever want to be in a position to agree with anything that Mark Emmert says. And particularly this morning on Mike and Mike, which I listened to and wanted to swerve off the road when I heard it. You're not just talking about, when you talk about student athletes, revenue producers like men's basketball and football at most schools. You're talking about swimmers and baseball players and gymnasts and lacrosse players and field hockey. You're talking about people who not only go to school and graduate, you're talking about people who do that on half scholarship or quarter scholarship, people who spend 20 to 40 hours a week, plus the time after they're injured, dealing with their sport and going to class, and you want to make it seem like there's some slackers. You do this to make your point? What is that?
See,
it sounds moronic to me.
I didn't hear that he was calling people slackers. What I heard, and which I think is defensible because it is in the small view technically true, a college would get more money from a full-pay student than handing over money through scholarship aid. But at the same time, if you get rid of scholarships in revenue-producing sports like football and basketball, you get rid of the billion-dollar contracts on television. That's the end of college athletics.
Tony,
yes.
on both levels. Either argument you want to take.
It's a crazy position for the head of the NCAA, which is involved with negotiating all these contracts, to take that schools would be better off without these guys.
In my opinion, he's out there because he's got the Ed O'Bannon thing smacking him around.
Right.
He's got the unionization issue, which could at any moment turn so against him, he won't even have a job.
Does he do anything good? Does he do anything good in your mind?
Well, I mean, he decried the whole you can have a bagel but not cream cheese.
Bagel with a
he's the president of the organization that allowed this to happen for years. So what? So what?
Does he do? And did the NCAA do anything good?
Not ever.
There you have it, sports fans. Let's take a break. But coming up, what's the great Yasiel Puig's eventful second inning yesterday?
Plus, look at that. Mike Tyson's first pitch.
Weird.
Screwball. And Eric Johnson's great save. Report card is next.
What if Emmert became like the president of Northwestern?
Get my degree back.
Really?
Yeah.
Report card is simple. You take something like Levitar's performance yesterday and you give it a grade like a D for Dan. Professor Reale, what's first?
Well, I think Poppy deserved an A+, though, didn't he? First, Yasiel Puig's defense yesterday in the second inning. What's your grade?
Well, he nonchalants himself into an error on the first one, dropping the ball, but then he throws the guy out, a force out at second. The second catch that he makes is spectacular. He's completely turned the wrong way on it. Look, I don't care about this one. Look at the next one. He turns himself around the wrong way and makes a stabbing catch over the shoulder.
There's swirling winds out there. What are you talking about?
So I'm going to give him like a D for the first play because at least he threw the runner out, an A for the second. I'm going to average out to C+.
C+. C+. First of all, he's playing in San Francisco against the hated Giants.
That's right.
And it seemed to me it might have been an ode to Willie Mays. The first catch had a little bit of basket to it.
A little, but he missed it. Willie didn't miss it.
But he got the runner at second, so all was fine.
Right.
And then, in the swirling winds of not Candlestick, but whatever they're calling that park these days, is it AT&T?
I don't know.
He goes back and he makes this unbelievable Vic Wirtzian deal. And
Except he doesn't turn around and
your boy Willie Mays. Come on,
so what are you giving him?
I'm going to give him a B.
Oh,
because there was no harm done
like
on the
Willie
first
Mays
one.
never got a B. Next. Next.
It is AT&T Park. Next up, Yankees last night turned to triple play. You want to grade that?
This is amazing in this regard. The Yankees have 3 triple plays in the last 5 years, all of them with CC Sabathia on the mound.
Okay, yeah.
So what that tells us is CC
5-4-3
allows a lot of guys on base with nobody out. Now, some people will look at this and they'll say it's routine, it's even boring because it's 5-4-3. My feeling, Mike, is that a triple play is great no matter how you get a triple play.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard for me to look at defense like that and give it anything less than an A.
Well, you can give it less than an A if you start grading degree of difficulty. Let's face it, most triple
That's
plays
the one you
these
want.
days, I know, it's the one you want.
Yes.
But the
when
really
you
hard
practice.
ones are when you have to deal with multiple runners and
Yes.
you wind up with a 5-6-4, 5-4, 5-3.
This 5-4-3.
You know,
This
when you
is
have
the
pitchers backing up
old-fashioned
people.
way.
This is very old-fashioned. And you used to see this more, I don't know, maybe when we were kids. 5-4-3, it's hard to get. I'm not going to give it an A because
Really?
there was no difficulty.
It's a triple play.
I know it's great. It was efficient. But you don't give efficiency an A. So I'm going to give it a B+.
Really? See, I would give it an A.
B+.
What's next?
Avalanche wild was wild last night. Eric Johnson's save. Empty net save. Grade this.
This is such a great hustle play.
It is.
Colorado has pulled its goalie with 3 minutes to go. They give this up, they lose the game. This guy skates as hard as he can, knocks it out. Now, the Minnesota coach wants to downgrade it. He wants to say he took the net off the moorings. Yeah, but he made the play first. Not only does he make this play, with 13 seconds to go, they tie, and then they win. This is, and I don't give this grade, this is A+. A+.
This had to be more painful than the Blackhawks loss. Because
That's going in.
That's in. You can't believe the puck is slowing down. It has brakes on. The penalty is really designed to put in the box a guy who intentionally does this just to give his team some time, give his goaltender some help. He made the play first. You can judge with anybody's 2 eyes that the momentum had to carry him into it. I understand I would have been hollering for a penalty, too. I would not have grabbed my package screaming for a penalty. I got to give it an A+.
Yeah, because it's that good.
By the way,
that good.
Going without your goaltender for that long, we could grade that separately.
Seems to have worked out, right, for a guy who's won Stanley Cups. Next.
And this one gets an asterisk because Tony doesn't give A+.
I don't give A+. That's A+.
Last one. You're both veterans of throwing first pitches.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's first pitch. Grade.
Mike Tyson untucked yesterday for the Pirates wearing the Iron Mike jersey. Look at this. It is awful. He looks like he's going to wind up and throw it to first base. Somehow the ball goes in the air and then acts like a wiffle ball and drops cleanly for what appears to be a strike.
On the golf course, we call that lining up for the fade.
It was just...
He lined up for the fade.
I can't give it an A because it worked out a lot better at the end than it did at the beginning. But I was thinking if there was a batter there, if the batter didn't like it, would he charge the mound on Tyson? No, I don't think so. So I'm going to give this a solid B.
Yeah, I don't see. We don't care about the form. Let me tell you something. What's awful is Carl Lewis. See, that's awful. Or that Mayor. Who was it, Mayor?
The guy from Cincinnati.
The Mayor.
Was awful.
That's awful.
Awful.
You can even downgrade me for tucking. But you cannot grade Mike Tyson for being untucked and getting the ball over the outside corner, inside corner.
He got it there. It came back.
He had a big fade.
Scroogey.
I'm going to give him a B+. Mike Tyson, how much baseball do you think he played as a kid? Did he play stickball?
Had to play stickball and with the pigeons. With the pigeons. Recap. What do we got, Reality?
Wilbon, would you trade your first pitch for Tyson's first pitch?
Mine was right over the top of the plate. It was a split finger.
Wilbon's getting a B. I would not consider that an ode to Willie Mays. Kornheiser's getting an A. We'll call that Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
New Yorkers slurping each other.
I love my youth. That's it for Report Card. Time for a break, but on the way, what to do when giant, angry Malaysian hornets attack.
I know what to do. Leave. Get the hell out. Plus, Miggy's rough start, T-Mac's pitching debut.
How's your boy? How's he doing? Did he do well? Ooh, send the blue one, didn't you think?
No.
Happy time, people. Happy 31st birthday, Miguel Cabrera. Only 1 home run, 6 RBI through the Tigers' first 12 games. On pace for garbage. Miguel Cabrera signed the biggest contract extension ever for a position player in the offseason. Coincidentally, Clayton Kershaw signed the biggest contract ever for a pitcher and has exactly 1 start. Be careful, people.
What do you want to do? Give the money back? You think they'll do that?
No.
No, they're not.
Be careful.
That's safe to say.
Happy anniversary, Michael Jordan. On or around this day 28 years ago, you scored an NBA playoff record 63 points in a double overtime loss to the Celtics. For all the gas I've given Jordan as an executive, it should be noted that his Bobcats were the most improved team in the Eastern Conference.
Got it right, hiring Steve Clifford. Dwayne Wade said today, These aren't the Bobcats you think. How many games are they going to get off of Miami in the first round?
I can't see more than one if one. Can you? Really?
They've done a great job down there.
Yes, they have.
Michael Jordan has.
Happy trails to Pablo Larrazábal's golf shirt. Spanish golfer was attacked by a swarm of hornets in Malaysia.
Man.
To escape that swarm, he ripped off his shirt and dove into a lake on the course. Talk about being a trooper. When he got out, he birdied the hole, ended up shooting 68 on the day.
Where did that shirt from?
New shirt.
The new shirt, an orange shirt.
Looked good. Trying to find out we messed up reality.
He had to borrow it from someone else. That's where he got it from. No error for Puig, and Knicks announcement on coach next week.
There you go. Big finish, quick.
Let's do it.
Mike D'Antoni says no one knew Kobe was going to France. Couldn't Kobe have said something?
Maybe since there was still a game to be played. Yeah, maybe so. Frank Hayes leaving Missouri to take the head coaching job at Tulsa. Does that make sense?
No, not unless you think you're in your last year at Missouri. Since joining the Yankees, Alfonso Soriano, since July, more home runs than anyone in baseball. I'm surprised. Are you?
I'm surprised. Cubs maybe even should be more surprised. They gave him up. Tracy McGrady gave up a run and 3 hits in 1 inning in his pitching debut against Community College. Your thoughts?
Good for him. Good for him. Last one. Red Wings at Bruins tonight, game 1. Who you got?
I'm tempted to go upset here, but I'm not. Bruins take game 1.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
Underestimate the Red Wings. I'm Mike Wilbon. Have a great weekend, Knuckleheads.
Roll Singer. Here's your shout-out, baby.
These days, you can get practically anything on demand, like this podcast. Did you know you can even get postage on demand? You can with Stamps.com. No more going to the post office. No more waiting in line. Just go to Stamps.com and print all the postage you want, anytime you want. Anything you can do at the post office, you can do right from your desk with Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package using your own computer and printer. And, unlike the post office, Stamps.com never closes, so you can get postage whenever you need it. Right now, get this special offer from Stamps.com when you use promo code PTI, a no-risk trial plus a $110 bonus offer that includes a digital scale and up to $55 free postage. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com and, before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the home page and type in PTI. That's Stamps.com, promo code PTI.
The next big thing, the next new kid, the next overnight sensation, the next rookie, one to watch, the next Hall of Famer, the next intimidator, the next 6-time, the next king. Next. Who's next? Let's find out. Names are made here. The History 300 at Charlotte, Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on ABC.